Thank you so much. And I'm thrilled to be here. This is an amazing conference, an amazing group of people. It's very exciting. Of course, nowadays I have to say I'm thrilled to be almost anywhere. So, however, I'd like to just get this out of the way, if I may. Rows and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air, feathered canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, and now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and... Are there allergies here? From up and down, and still somehow it's clouds' illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. There you are. Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to thank Moses. I want to thank my friend Erica Jong, who inspires me and who is amazing. And I want to thank all of you for coming and being part of this Ideas City adventure in talking to people about their lives, their ideas, their choices. I'm not Canadian, but you know, I have a relative who came through Canada. My grandfather immigrated through Canada from England. My great-grandfather, rather. So he came down from Canada to Idaho. But you know, I've always sung songs by Canadian writers, starting, of course, with the great Ed McCurdy. Last night I had the strangest dream. Do you know this? I never dreamed before. I dreamed the world had all agreed to put an end to war. I dreamed I'd had a mighty room, and the room was filled with men and women, and the paper they were signing said they'd never fight again. Sing this with me, will you? Last night I had the strangest dream. I never dreamed before. I dreamed the world had all agreed to put an end to war. An idea worth savoring and repeating and writing songs about. I grew up in a very exciting and dysfunctional family. If there's anybody out there who was not raised in a dysfunctional family, I want to meet you backstage and talk to you about how you managed to do that. Anyway, my father was a wonderful singer, musician, a great adventurer in life. He was born on a dirt-poor farm in Idaho and was blind by the age of 4, and yet made his way through the world musically and had a wonderful radio show for 30 years and raised 5 of us. My mother says she raised 6, including him. And he was an amazing musician, and I got that feeling, that love, you know, for the old wonderful standards, you know, what we call the Great American Songbook, with My Funny Valentine, Sweet Comic Valentine. You know, we call that the American Songbook now. We call it the Rod Stewart Songbook. And actually, just to thank Moses for his thank you to me for Leonard, yes. In 1966, after many, many years of music, learning the standards, and then having a career crisis at the age of 14, where I heard on the radio, I was playing the piano, I was playing Debussy and Mozart, and all of a sudden, and I play with orchestras. I mean, this is very serious. I should actually be in Yugoslavia with my piano tuner right now, and instead of here. But I suddenly, on the radio, I heard the song that changed my life was, 'Twas in the merry month of May, when the green buds were swelling, a young man on his deathbed lay, for the love of Barbara Allen. And, Mozart just paled in comparison. And all of a sudden I was part of the great folk scare. And I got a guitar. I got my father to rent me a guitar. I guess he was hopeful that it would only be short-lived. And then I started hanging out with all the folkies in Denver, the Denver Folklore Society, which was run by a man named Lingo the Drifter. Now, I know what you'll appreciate about this is that I loved him. He was radical like my dad. He had a radio show like my dad, but he sang Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger. My father sang the Great American Songbook. And he talked about politics. They both did. I don't know why they weren't thrown off the radio, both of them, in 1954, 55, talking about the upcoming war that they could already see and talking about McCarthy. But the thing that I loved about this strange and mysterious man, Lingo the Drifter, was that he had what he called the Dormant Brain Cell Research Foundation. My heart was won. But no, I didn't. And a lot of other times I did, but not with him. I always look back and wonder what you missed. But in any case, I was ready for the 60s. I was born to be in the 60s, really. And what I was going to say about Leonard was that then, of course, quickly, I was singing, I was making my living, which was I think it is for anybody, but for a woman it is a political and a revolutionary act to have a job. And I had one. I was beyond belief thrilled to get paid to do this. Unbelievable. I made $100 a week in 1959 at Michael's Pub. It was a fortune then. It's a fortune now, actually. And I started on my way. And, of course, I sang the songs of Woody Guthrie. I sang the songs of Pete Seeger. I recorded Ed McCurdy. I recorded lots and lots of singers and songwriters and Mimi and Dick Farina. And then one day in 1966, I got a call from my friend. You might even know her, Nancy Bacall. She grew up in Canada, grew up here in Toronto, and she and I were very good friends. And she would say to me every once in a while, there is this Canadian, he's a poet, and he reads poetry in these little esoteric places in Montreal and Toronto, and he has he's been published, and he has a book out called Beautiful Losers, which I read, and will read again, I'm sure. I will understand it better. And she said, this is 1966. I was starting to record an album called In My Life, which wound up having Jacques Brel and Kurt Weill songs on it. I was looking for different things. I was open to something, and she said to me, he wants to come here and find out from you whether you think that the things he's writing are songs.